Good morning, pet parents of Regina. We are coming to you live for this week's version of Furry Fridays. Furry Friday. Some of you may already be out at the lake. It's a long weekend. It's beautiful. Well, okay. It's beautiful for most people. It is too hot for me. I am not a fan of heat, nor a fan of humidity. So when Zaner and I are out for our walks, I'm a little bit cranky right now. We went this morning and I thought, oh, it won't be that bad. It was hot. So if you are out at the lake, good place to be. If you're not yet, but you're going, great place to go. Don't forget, before you leave, today it is National Mutt Day, and we are trying to help CC Rescues, which is a local rescue in the city, of course. I'm sure you know this. What we're doing is all of our sales today, we are donating 10% of everything that we sell today to CC Rescue as a food donation. So just to, make the numbers easy, if we sold $1,000 today, we're donating $100 worth of food to CC Rescues. We are also, though, taking any donations that you want to make, and then we're going to include that. So if we got another $100 in donations, then we're donating $200 of food to CC Rescue. Crystal Young says, even more of a reason to come down. Agreed. And if you can't, because maybe you are out at the lake, hello, Miss Caroline. If you are out at the lake or you're heading out of town, you can absolutely give us a call. We can take a donation over the phone. We can take your order over the phone, or you can order online. It is all sales today. 10% of everything we sell is being donated to CC Rescues in food. So we're going to get some really good food out there for the puppers. And we need your help to do it. Okay. I've got... Aww. Look at Charlie behind me. That's almost perfect. He's licking my head. I have got a couple things that I wanted to talk about today. We're going to be quick. One of the things that we're doing is we're going to bust one of the most common misconceptions out there about kibble. We're going to bust that myth. We're doing some myth busting. The other thing that I wanted to do was I wanted to add on to what we talked about last week. Crystal says, are you making a Facebook post so we can share? It is out there already. Crystal, it went out first thing this morning. It's on Facebook and Instagram, so you can share it all you want until your heart is content. I wanted to add on to what we talked about last week. We talked about how to store your food, and one of the biggest mistakes that pet parents make, so we all learned last week, we do not want to take our food out of the bag. We want to freeze what we can't use within 28 days. I mean, you could serve right out of the freezer. You could keep your dry food in the freezer all the time. Maybe that's, inconvenient where you live. So as long as we're for sure freezing anything we can't use in 28 days, awesome. But I want to go a little bit deeper because we said, don't use those great big fancy pet food containers. I have learned more and I wanted to share that with you. So first things first, I wanted to talk about one of the most perpetuated myths out there about dry food. Okay? I forgot to brush my teeth this morning, so that should do it, right? Gotta get the Doritos out of my face. That should do it, right? Crunchy food, scraping against my teeth. I shouldn't have to brush my teeth now. They're clean. I just ate Doritos. That's the myth. That's the myth that's out there about dry food. I must feed my dog some dry, crunchy food in order to keep his teeth clean. That is one of the biggest myths out there and couldn't be further from the truth. Let me tell you why. And I know that we've talked about this before, But it is equivalent when we say we've got to feed our pets dry, crunchy food in order to brush their teeth. That is like me telling you, eat Doritos your whole life. You don't need to brush your teeth because the Doritos will keep your teeth clean because you're eating dry, crunchy food. It doesn't make a lot of sense when we think about it that way, right? And it doesn't make sense for your puppers or your kitties. This is why. We already know that dry food has a high carb count, right? It's got a lot of carbs. Carbs turn into sugar. Sugar is what feeds disease. We know the drill. Sugar is a bad thing. But it's not good for the teeth either. Think about when you eat something, like even when I just eat those Doritos, you can feel it on your teeth. But think about when you eat something really sugary, really sweet. Like you want to brush your teeth, right? Because you can feel it. Because the sugar sticks to your teeth, which makes sense because sugar's sticky. Same thing's happening. If we're only relying on a dry food to clean our dog's teeth, we are not doing what we need to do in order to keep their mouths as healthy as possible, because the high amount of carbs, the high amount of sugar will stick to the teeth, where a raw diet, and I'm not saying you have to run out and switch to a raw diet right now, but here's the difference. In a raw meat diet, which is what they would eat in the wild, the meat has the necessary enzymes to break down debris on the teeth and keep their teeth clean, right? We've never seen a wolf running around in the wild missing a couple teeth with bad rotten teeth, because he's eating the way Mother Nature intended him to, and he's not dragging a bag of kibble off to his den to munch on to try to clean his teeth. So one of the biggest myths out there, we've got to feed dry in order to keep their teeth clean, could not be farther from the truth. We've talked about this before, so I'm not going to bore you with that again, but our best bets for keeping those chompers clean: raw meaty bones, toothbrush and toothpaste, or the Icelandic lamb horns, because they're keratin. They will brush, they're fibrous, so they brush the teeth and gums. But kibble does not keep the teeth clean. Here's one other reason why it doesn't work to keep their teeth clean. Their mouths are unlike ours. Our bottom jaw can go back and forth, right? Because we can chew. We have molars. We're supposed to chew. Their mouths go up and down, because their mouths are designed to rip and swallow. So they're not doing a lot of chewing. I'm not saying that they never chew. They will chew some things. But if you ask my mom, whenever Zaner eats anything in front of her, she's like, "Did you even taste it?" Because it's like, and he swallows. But that's what his mouth is designed to do, rip and swallow. So when we give them, that's why it's important. Hello, Cheryl Spence. That's why it's important too, when we give them bones, raw meaty bones, we want to make sure that that bone is bigger than what can fit in their entire mouth, because they're meant to rip and swallow, right? And we don't want them trying to swallow a big bone. So we give them a bone bigger than their mouth, so it can't fit in their mouth, and then they can gnaw away. And that will do more to clean their teeth than dry food. All right. I just wanted to get that out there because it's a myth and it's not true. It's fake news. That's for sure what it is. Fake news. So if you're being told, oh, you must feed dry to clean their teeth, not true. My bear chews delicately. It's weird. Zaner is the farthest thing from delicate. He is a savage when it comes to food. Okay, the next thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about, and we talked about this a little bit, well, we talked about it lots last week, but I wanted to follow up, right? We talked about how do we best store dry food. There's beautiful little containers out there that are made for your pet's food so that it can match your decor, all the things. We talked about that last week. This is why we don't want to store our food directly in the bin. I'm going to flip you around. Okay? Here is what we need to know. Oftentimes, if you're using some sort of a glass bin, awesome. Glass is fine. Plastic, not so much. And here is how we know if our plastics are safe or which ones to avoid. When you flip over that plastic container and you take a look for the recycling symbol, this is what's safe. This is what's food grade, and this is what you want to avoid. This includes plastics that you would use for you and your non-furry family too. We don't want to use the plastics that include 3, 6, or 7 as a recycling code. 1, 2, 4, and 5. However, do we know what this means? Because I just learned this. This recycling symbol means it is a one-time use plastic. One time. We can use it one time. Do you know what most pet food containers are made from? The one-time recycled or the one-time recyclable plastics. That's why it's critical that you do not pour your food directly into those plastic containers. The plastic releases and leaches toxins into whatever it's containing. And if your food is not protected by the bag that it comes in, and I mean, okay, so there are some pet food bags out there that are kind of like that brown, greasy paper on the inside. I mean, some of them are just made that way. That's not our best option for the type of bag that we're looking for. Then there's others that literally are just plastic, right? And it's a little bit better than the brown, greasy inside. But the best thing that you want to look for in a food bag, in order to keep the food as fresh as possible and prevent things from leaching in and leaching out, is a food bag that is the foil on the inside, okay? Then we know that is the safest our food can be in that bag. We can then take that bag and put that bag into our pet food container, but not just dumped in. We do not just dump the kibble in and let it sit in that plastic. If you have one of these, flip it over. Check to see what the recycling code is. Most water bottles and pop bottles are this, a one-time use plastic. That means don't be refilling your water bottles, oops, which I have been doing. Don't be refilling your water bottles to continually use over and over and over again. Use it once, recycle, okay? There's a little bit more information that I have. So what I've done here is this is highlighted because it is food grade. The number 1 is food grade, but it's also that single-use plastic. So if you are using any type of plastic to feed your pet when you're out on hikes or whatever, make sure that it is either a 2, a 4, or a 5, which means it's a reusable plastic. 1 is one-time use only. 3, 6, and 7, avoid them for yourself and for your pet. Avoid any plastics that have those recycling numbers. Oh, I've got a doorknob, a doorbell. Anyways, you guys, I wanted to just follow up with that because I had told you don't put your food into a plastic bin. And that's just more reason why we want to avoid foods going into a plastic bin. Okay? Again, the myth busting has been done. Unless you're eating Doritos to brush your teeth, your dog can't eat dry food to keep his clean. Okay? Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope that everybody has a fantastic long weekend. Remember, if you want to help us help CC Rescue, you can either call us, you can do it by donation, you can pop in, you can order online. All of our sales, 10% going to them. And we're already getting sales coming in. So thank you guys, and we will see you next week. All right, have a great weekend.